Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Casks-n-Que, where whiskey and barbecue meet. I'm your host, Justin Lloyd, and today we're going to review Ardbeg and Oa, so be sure and stick around. All right guys, thanks for sticking around. Hey, before we get started, if you don't mind, go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment. That helps this channel out a lot, and I certainly appreciate it. So again, we're gonna review Ardbeg and O. So this particular offering is new to the Ardbeg lineup. This was added in 2017 and is meant to be a little bit more approachable than, say, a 10-year-old. So what Ardbeg has done to make this whiskey more approachable is mature it in different casks. For instance, Jimenez sherry cask is one of the components of this particular scotch. So we're going to get into this thing, give it a full review, and at the end of the video, we'll let you know what we think about it as far as a rating, anywhere between 1 and 5, 5 being the best, 1 being the worst. So as you probably already know, Ardbeg is an Islay Scotch. Usually that means that it's going to be really smoky. The peat is smoked and that's added into the flavor of the scotch. So the Oa is named after a section that's in the southwest area of Islay. And back in 2017, this was voted as one of the best whiskeys of the year. So let's go ahead and get into this. Right away, sweet and smoky. This one is really light colored. I would say an amber or maybe a gold. This is a no-age statement. This one does have elements of sherry, ex-bourbon barrels, so it's got some oakiness to it. The smoke is light, kind of wispy, as compared to other expressions of Ardbeg like 10 or something like Laphroaig or Lagavulin. It's very light compared to those. So the ABV on this is 46.6. It doesn't, just kick you in the face. The legs tend to kind of wash away. They're there, but it's definitely not really the viscosity isn't really there. Also get some honey and some sea salt, like a briny flavor. So let's go to the palate. So it's light. There's a little bit of kick at the front. A little bit of alcohol, but it's not bad. Get a little bit of the Kentucky hug. Honey and malt flavor on the front end with a little bit of smoke in the back. I say a little bit, I mean it's pretty prominent actually. If you're used to Islay Scotches, this is more on the tame side. Get a little bit of toastiness, kind of like toast. And, you toast a piece of bread, that smell and that flavor. The sherry comes through, but not like I would have expected. You definitely wouldn't call this a sherry bomb. But I do think it brings a sweet element and a dark fruit element. This one's pretty complex. So this would remind me of if you've ever gone to the beach and had a campfire while you're at the beach, and especially at night when maybe the tide comes in and you can smell the sea air, and you also have the campfire going. It's a bit like that. I feel like it's not matured maybe like the 10 or other expressions. I kind of have the idea that this might be a younger whiskey. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, this is really good. I'm starting to pick up a little more of that dark fruit, that PX sherry cask. This whiskey reminds me of the fall. A lot of those smells. I certainly see why Ardbeg has decided to add this to their core lineup. It's quite impressive. The toastiness that marries with the sherry notes that you get, along with that wisp of smoke, and just enough alcohol on the palate to kind of give it some liveliness. Everything is kind of married together really well. It's really balanced, especially for what I believe to be a younger whiskey. I'm also picking up maybe some oatmeal type flavors, like a warm breakfast cereal. That honey keeps coming back as well. So, I mean, this is a complex whiskey, and I'm really happy with it, especially with the price point of, I don't know, 55 bucks or so. This was a gift, so I didn't purchase it, but from what I've read online, it's, you know, in that $55 to $65 range, especially here in the southern part of the United States. This may sound crazy, but I almost pick up like not almost, I do. So there's a lot going on in this one. Again, Ardbeg isn't for everybody. Would I pick this particular Ardbeg selection over, say, the 10-year? It's hard to say. I haven't had the 10-year in a while. That means I'm probably gonna have to go out and get a bottle of that and compare side by side, but I'm kind of funny about no age statement scotches. We did a review of Talisker Storm versus Talisker 10, and I'll put the link right here above my head. If you wanna watch that, you can just click on that card. I was surprised I ended up liking the Storm better than the 10, although not by much. I just felt that it offered more, and that's a no age statement. So, you know, there's a lot to be said for whiskeys that put this, you know, the age on the bottle. But I also think there's room for no age statements. Of course, that's becoming more commonplace in the whiskey market. So one of our upcoming videos will probably be a review of this compared to Ardbeg 10, and I'll see where I come out on that. So we take into consideration market value, availability, and taste. With those three things considered, I'm probably in the, I don't know, 3.75 range. The only reason I would go the 3.75 and not a 4 is because it's a no age statement, and that's just a personal preference of mine. You may say something totally different, which obviously is fine. I just think that when you have a no age statement, to me, are you hiding something, or are you not telling me that it's a young whiskey and maybe there's some flavors added to it that make it seem like it's a little bit better than what it would be naturally? I don't know. But I do know this is a fairly priced whiskey in my opinion. It's really, really good. It's complex. And for those of you that like this type of flavor profile with the, you know, the smoky, peaty type deal going on, then I would say give this one a shot. It's really good. I think you'll be happy with it, especially if you have like a friend or a family member that may be new to Scotch and they've heard about the peaty whiskeys and maybe they've tried it before. Maybe they've tried the Lafroig or you know, a Lagavulin and they hated it. I think this would be a good entry level for somebody, especially if you add maybe a splash or two of water to calm it down a little bit, just so they can get the idea of the complexity and the different flavors within this particular Scotch. So that wraps up this review. If you like this content, then please consider liking, subscribing, and hitting the bell. When you smash that bell, it lets you know anytime I upload new content. Hey, thanks for stopping by Casks-n-Que, where whiskey and barbecue meet. We'll see you next time.